I wanted to give a little feedback on the text-only wallet case mockups. In this case, I said something like this design would be perfect for the mockups. And you can see that in this design we've got just a little bit of very simple, very plain graphic that fits with the theme, in this case garden. And then the actual text here, and I'll go over these points again, but the text here is simple in that it's very easy to read. That's the first thing, very easy to read. Two, it takes up the entire space here. So that's the second most important thing. And then the third most important thing is that the keywords are highlighted. So life is highlighted with a larger font size, and bloom and grace are highlighted with both a larger font size, or you could argue that might even be the same font size as that, but a nice, still readable font. Now, let's compare that to this sample. So this is the sample that you provided, and the so the first issue with this is that we can't test this because all the font together is one big block. So if someone sees this, like that, instantly they're going to see this. Oh, that's nice. Big block, ignore. They can't see much more than that. So we need to make this the main message of this entire block of text. We need to make that visible in half a second so that when someone sees it as they're scrolling through their news feed, they'll instantly see this. All right, that's nice, and then instantly see the two main words or three main words, whatever it is, and then hopefully stop and look at the image. Now, I'll point out those things I mentioned. So let me hide this one, and this example, this next example is not a good one, but it's well, let me pick this one. It's one that I made to just highlight the points. So please do a bit of a better job. I just knocked this up quickly to highlight the points. So, but in this case, you can see that this text takes up the entire mock-up from top to bottom. The main words are highlighted, leave, and then I may have mentioned, or I did mention that room was also a main word. I did notice that leave and room don't don't really work together in that case, and this might take a bit of juggling, but in this case I felt that leave was probably the better word, and then I just put room in there just because it worked better here. And then the next word, of course, was garden, so I made that bigger. Then angels and dance, I made that a different font because those words mean something a little bit different. But in this case, you can see that in that case, the whole thing uses just two fonts, this and that, two different sizes, this size and that size, and then it another thing is it uses a slightly different color than the color of the image on the left here. You can see if we go back to this color, again, we'll have a similar problem. Let me zoom out. It's hard to distinguish this from that, whereas this slightly lighter color makes it a bit easier to scroll. So someone would, as they're scrolling through the news feed, see this and then instantly see like leave, angels and dance. Okay, and if they then like that, they might see garden, and that's what we want them to. That's basically what we want them to do. So please, when you're making these mock-ups, keep those things in mind. We need the text to be top to bottom. We need the font to be easy to read. That's another thing with the default font here. I don't think this is easy to read. It might just be the italics or the font itself, but this particular font is not too easy to read. So uh, see if you can pick a slightly better font that is not, Arial or Times New Roman as this is. So this is Times New Roman. Um, but yeah, the font needs to be easy to read, top to bottom. Then don't introduce too many weird and wonderful things like multiple different fonts or multiple different sizes. Just, nice and simple. If it works, two sizes, maybe even two sizes will be fine. In this case, it's two sizes and two fonts. And yeah, use this color. So just for reference on this particular one, what I've done to get this color is, let me go back to this one. So this color here is exactly the same color, or slightly different, but it would have been exactly the same color as this. And then I've gone to saturation and I've just turned the saturation down so that it's closer to white. Something like almost, so not quite white, or in this case gray, but just a touch up so it still keeps a little bit of that color. And then you can see it still matches with that color, but it's a bit easier to see than if it was the same color. So now when someone's scrolling through the news feed, that will hopefully be a little clearer to them. So when you're designing all of the quotes, all the mock-up quotes, please keep those rules in mind.